Good evening and welcome to one of our webinars, free webinars, The Wisdom Within 70 Access to Your Eternity. And I will just open the energy, open the field, and allow you to find me here. We are online live at this fine day, and the replay video with equal access to the energy will be available at my YouTube channel, the Void of Consciousness, and my Facebook page. My name is Marianne Lane. I'm a Danish energy worker and a modern shaman of the new era. And I'm here to share with you the possibilities that opens with the entrance through the new era field of consciousness. The new era field of consciousness is created through a usage of technology. It's new, it's fresh, and it's still undisturbed, even though it's quite disturbing, some of the things that we're using the technology for. The mutual consciousness created is still pure. And pure access has been revealed, and accessible since 2012 for each and every one of us. So a lot of energy worker has been developed since December 2012. I am one of these, previously an engineer working with science within microbiology, chemistry, molecular biology, that kind of things. Since December 2013, worked full-time with teachings, channelings, and investigations and visions, and with the seer capacity, with oracle capacities, to support the development of the new era field of consciousness and how we can use it to support our development of our consciousness, of our wellness, and our fairness. Because when we are disturbed in our consciousness, we are never fair to ourselves, never fair to love, to consciousness. This teaching of today, I will use the entrance together with you to open the 70 access to your eternity, and this support that's for everyone. We don't need to know about it. We don't need to call it. We don't need to name it or have a history about it. The entrance, the support goes to each and every one of us, and our fairness, or the non-working fairness, is the disturbance that we will work with here. So have you ever thought about fairness in this way? That the way you think about yourself, what burdens you put upon yourself, the way you allow yourself to be treated by yourself, do you ever thought about if it's fair? Let's try to play with this. Let's try to go with this. Allow you to think about it, walk around it, and at the same time the energy will open here, and you can get the support from the energy here by agreeing, using your intention. Say yes. Yes, I will try this. Let's go for a ride. Let's have a try out. I am one of the chosen ones. There's billions of chosen ones in these years, but the ones who work with this access, where you use your intention and enter this mutual space of consciousness and allow it to support you as a mystery, as an adventure, and see how it change things in your everyday life, in your way of meeting yourself and your reality, using an access created by a gathering of spirits and consciousness that calls itself the New Era Spirit. It's a gathering of consciousness and energies working with the same aim, the same goal, to create a mutual field of consciousness for the gathered Earth people. And with the support from this, when you use technology to support us in the awakening of our fairness to ourselves and to each other and to being Earth people. Breathe. Both humans and animals actually creates a sigh to release tensions and shift into another path, another gear, into another awareness. We use this intentionally as we are gathering, accessing this mutual field, the New Era field of consciousness by choice. At the same time, we use the health field as a shaman of the New Era, a modern shaman of the New Era. I'm trained, invocated, actually because I'm curious, stubborn, and have no wish for ownership of this. That's some of the demands to be allowed to work with this. But to gather and to use it is for everybody. Breathe and allow it to support you into this meeting with your fairness to yourself and a soft, mild, caring support for you to be followed into a solidification of your path that's justified by your fairness to yourself and to beloved. The access to your foundation for your free consciousness and your ability to use your choice opens here. And this gate is called so many things in different times and places, different ways of access consciousness. The support goes deep and high and support you in meeting again your fairness to yourself. So if you walk around it, ask yourself, where can I see my fairness to myself, to what I call myself, what I see myself as, which burdens I put upon myself, how I judge myself. Is this fair? With this fairness, accessibility, to choose support for my fairness to myself is to choose the path that support me into be fair to everyone, everybody else. I can only share what I like, what I allow myself in care for myself. If I'm not allowing myself in care for myself to be fair treated, I can't contain it to anybody else or to anything else. It's a difficulties. It's kind of a short circuit created in mutual consciousness in the old era field. The density of the karmic burden in the mutual field of consciousness is so heavy that it's kind of putting us down, creating the non-fairness consciousness. Perhaps you have met it before, perhaps you're meeting it now, as we are bringing it forward to reach this gate for consciousness, access to or eternity to the 7D consciousness availability, where we choose to switch, to shift from non-consciousness to consciousness, from non-fairness to fairness. Here we go. Allowing the support to go deeper and higher, and reaching the point, the 7D access. You can have different reactions emotionally, in your body, in the energy, to observe it and allow it to come and to go. That's all you have to do. That's your part of the work. The rest goes by itself because we are releasing the tensions from your reactions to the non-fairness from within. That tension from your reaction to the non-fairness is what actually release the energy and the emotion for your consciousness to step into fairness and the foundation for the fairness. As it's switching here, any emotion that comes by itself, any reaction in your body, allow it to be. Reactions in the body, allow it to be so available as possible, to have as much space within as possible. Emotions, allow it to be waves that go through you. Energy that shifts, observe it curiously and allow it to be whatever it is without naming it, without description, without sorting it out. Allowing it. It's only showing that this shift is going on. Shifting into the fairness version of yourself. And together here we allow it to shift. Allow it to have a little space, a little time for this. And imagine we are shifting thousands of years of development of consciousness that we haven't reached, that could have been, if we haven't been so caught up in our survival systems and our survival systems determination. Shifting. Breathing. Releasing. Going into completion. Sense how it's met within your fairness to yourself as it opens here. And to some of you, this is actually happening, and it's happening like immediately. So you might sense A smile from within, smiling to yourself, sensing the shift towards yourself. Perhaps immediately begin to have visions of different experiences, memories from your life when you haven't been fair, and perhaps when you have been fair to yourself. Supporting the shift. Maybe you see something from a book, a movie, a song comes by to support the shift from within. Maybe it's just quiet, nothing here. No matter what comes by, it could be like, I'm disturbed here, I can't focus, but try to investigate if it's actually a support. Perhaps it's actually a support for you to enter this shift. Awakened by the wisdom from within. Now, most of your foundation for your consciousness is carried in the fulfillment, the fairness version. And now you can actually support with your intention by saying, yes, yes, I want this. Yes, I want this. I'm choosing the fulfillment. I'm choosing the fairness version to myself. Thank you for the support from the field and everything that's supportive, no matter what it is. There's so much present in our space of consciousness, in our void of consciousness, and it's awakening in these years. Allowing the support to support us here as well of our choice. Yes, please. I would really like this. I'm choosing the fairness to myself. And by that, to everything and everybody else. Containing myself in my fairness. Opening the availability to be the container of the greater good for everything, and including myself in this greater good through a mutuality. Sense the shift into the carriage of your containing of the mutuality for the fairness version of yourself. Sense the relaxation that comes by it. The release of the fighting from within. The constant preparation for the next fight. It's released from within. Hello and welcome here. Maybe you're trailing in your consciousness. If you catch it mildly, curiously, fairly, call it back. Use your sense of your body as an anchor. when you use your body as an anchor, support, reach your 10,000 times more. Hi and welcome here, and thank you. Yes, everything is well. Yes, sensing huge shifts and using these supportives through the field to myself. Finding other rhythms of my day than I'm usually have, and then everything is fine. If I try to continue the way as I'm used to, then I will kind of feel off. My synchronicity is leaving me, or I'm leaving the synchronicity. When I'm following this connection, as we're opening here, choosing the fairness version to myself, then I experience huge, beautiful shifts from within and a new type of synchronicity that supports me as well. Thank you so much for your wishings for me, and I hope you are well as well. For you hope for me and for everybody else, of course. Beautiful. Sense perhaps a shift from within. How do you look upon yourself? What is the tone in your inner voice when you're communicating with yourself? Do you sense a small shift? The smallest shift shows a huge shift in the consequences, because this area has been contained in the burdens of the cosmic karmic burdens in mutual field of earth people. It's been so difficult to release and to let go of the non-fairness to ourselves and to everybody else. Many people working with consciousness, working with being love, have been taught how to use the non-fairness as a kind of leverage for kindness, for blessing, as a constant work. This shift opens the foundation in, it's not only peace, it's quietness, non-disturbed, an undisturbed void from within. Maybe you sense it as well. And if you're not sensing anything here at all, it doesn't mean it's not your call. It doesn't mean that it's not something that can support you. Maybe the senses, maybe the way it shifts within shows itself in your everyday experiences. Be observing, being observant and curious, and expect something without knowing what it is. Give you the best position in your consciousness to catch any change. The changes that's awakening all over the globe right now, in every people, is for sure. But how it moves and how we are meeting it, how we are greeting it, and the consequence of it on short and long term have yet to show. When we are working with it through the newer field of consciousness, it supports us into a mild journey, a settled journey, where you have a capacity and a possibility to follow it. And each step of the journey will deliver wisdom for your own channel, your own connection. And the wisdom shows itself in everything we see and think, every reflection, every communication in our reality. That suddenly we see things different, we communicate different, we have a different perspective of things, and make other choices than before. That's how it shows itself in the place of our reality where it means the most, because that's where it changes reality. And if you experience this from within yourself, maybe you can imagine that it goes for everybody else as well. Bring in hope, a hope capacity, being the container for hope. And these small pearls of people that can contain hope in these months and years, they are carrying the field for hope founded in equality and fairness. One more expansion here to each and every one of us, the support, the help from the field to enter our fairness to ourselves, and then as a consequence, the fairness to everybody and anything else. Shifting completely into a fairness version. And I can't tell how this is experienced because it's so different, like completely different, like a blueprint to each and every one of us, how this is merging and how it's showing itself. So it's kind of a mystery and adventure we are equally entering, but with different experiences, but with the same frame and the same all in all consequences. Now it opens within the memory fields of our nervous system. Our nervous system has an energy system by itself, and the nervous system is anxious and have a sense of reality as being against us. The fairness consciousness with the wholeness foundation now supports the energy system of your nervous system to zero in, release the constant state of being anxious. The constant state of being anxious kind of predetermine or meeting with a reality in the non-fairness version. It's released here. It could give reactions in your body. Don't give it a name. Don't investigate the reactions. Just allow it to show you if something is happening. We can't understand what it is because it only shows the 5-10% that we experience, that something is shifting, something is moving from within, but everything is moving at the same time. Investigate it. Do you sense something is releasing? Something is more quiet from within, more mild? Is it called mild in English? I need to look it up afterwards. I'm still working so much on my pronunciation and my language skills here. Switching from channeling and delivering in Danish into English. Asked by the field to do so. Stepping into non-known territories. Mild or calm. Yes, mild or calm. Makes sense. Thank you. Hello and good day to you as well. The relation in the nervous system that goes because that happens because the energy system related to our nervous system shifts into the fairness version. Here we're reaching for support, help from different civilizations all over the universe that can carry the containing consciousness. The containing consciousness that's not constantly connected to a survival system, only connected to the survival system when it's needed for real. Instead of how it's been here, where we have been constantly connected to the survival system, no matter if it was needed or not. There's no memories, there's no capacities in Earth people memory, DNA memory, how to balance this disturbance. But if we are using about 30,000 different civilizations, libraries, then each and every one of us can get the support in our memory fields to this shift. And if you would like to have an experience with this, you can agree upon it right now, just from within. Yes, I use my intention to agree upon the support that comes from the different civilizations in the universe that carries this ability to carry your survival system in a non-disturbed version. And this supports not only release the tensions in our nervous system, but building experience, learning memories up in the system. Carry just a frequency above the actual system. So close in the energy that your nervous system takes it in if it makes sense to your nervous system. Hope all is going good. Asked here. Yes, we're just in the small teaching support about the 7D access to eternity. And a few minutes more, then we shift into talking about what's going on in the consciousness and the energy, and the next webinars that I will share, and possibilities for asking questions with channeled answers. The support from 30,000 different civilizations in the universe goes to us. This can be a little bit odd. And sharing here, in first, I have believed that fairness is not possible. I have to change that after this. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. How beautiful that is. Thank you. Okay, here we go. The complete shifts. As our nervous system accept the support from a different civilizations throughout the universe. You don't have to believe in this, as strange as it is, but if you sense the shift and if it supports you, it doesn't matter what we name it or how we express it, how we describe it, doesn't matter. I'm working with soul history in my inner voyages and visions and oracle capacity, but there's nothing as a pure channel, so it will always be colored one way or the other. So to use the reflection from within, the resonance, and to know that this is a way of bringing in wisdom and knowledge across the universe in these symbolic levels where we sense things differently, and we sense things the way in the same way as when we are touched by a song, a poetry, a movie, a story. And that change our perspective, it change our lives. It has actually that possibility, capacity. So when we work with these soul memories, knowledge, frequencies, wisdom frequencies, then the connection goes with this recognition from within. To allow it to be a recognition from within, that you don't have to prove, you don't have to fight for anybody else to see it your way, but to allow it to unfold within yourself in your way, that expands the connection from all the different things that's reaching us through a mutual field of consciousness, the New Era way, every day. Expanding and awakening beautifully. And the fairness consciousness is a way to meet it, a way to experience it. So we are landing this energy work here. We're sharing the support for us by one more time to meet our fairness to ourselves. So how do you meet yourself? If you are communicating with yourself from within, how do you see yourself? Is it fair? Do you sense a shift? A small one, a huge one, anything at all? The search for it, the allowing it is the work. The catching it is the work. Breathe. And shifting into the possibility to put up questions in the comments, and I will try to deliver channeled answers to it. And as you are preparing perhaps for some questions or sharings. Then I will share with you this last weeks of change in the huge fields in our time frames and our capacity fields of consciousness. The mutual field of Earth people in the New Era Access. In December 2013, we have had 3 different prophecies that I'm working for. I'm calling them prophecy A, B, and C. And in December 2023, we just had the entrance that actually opened in the Sphinx area in Egypt, and then expanded through all of the Earth people's field in the 21st of December. And then a few days later, the prophecy A nearly was lost. Prophecy B and C was still contained and available, possibility. And then a lot of energy workers have supported the field. And just in the shift from December 2024 to January 2025, the prophecy A was kind of reopened. Prophecy A say that all over the globe, every people will slowly be awakened, but slowly is within weeks and months. And within a few years, we will for sure see new changes all over the globe in the ways, in the systems and our choices, in the governmental areas. That's prophecy A. Prophecy B says that this will happen, but perhaps it will be several, a lot of years to come. Perhaps 50 years before it's here. And then it will be a different way it will open as well. Prophecy C says that everything will be much better than it is now, but we will not have this complete awakening and this complete shift into a cosmic civilization living here on Earth. Instead, we will reach through development and evolution in between 10 and 30 years, a balanced way of being here, but with a limit, as prophecy C. So I'm working with prophecy A, B, and C in the huge fields of consciousness. And just in these weeks, prophecy A has been reawakened. And because of this, I will put up some free webinars with channeled stories that I have gathered or met myself about soul legends that carries the cosmic history in ways that we can understand it, or not understand it, but resonate with it. And through that, mirror in, ignite, or in a connection with prophecy A in a deep level. Yes. So a lot of things is going on, and please give me any questions you're carrying if you have some. I'm not able to answer everything, of course, but have perhaps some perspective or a way to see things that can open your perspective and support you into a more fair meeting with yourself and your reality. Containing hope in fairness. So if we are fair to hope, then we carry and contain the hope in a way that makes sense to us, so we can imagine it happening. If we are unfair to hope, then we try to carry hope in a way we can never imagine it will be possible to happen, what we hope for. So the fairness to hope is to carry in the hope that we ourselves can imagine could happen, and where we will not have to kind of close a part of us down to be able to hope for it and to imagine it. So that's how we are using fairness consciousness to the containing of hope. And to catch the hope in our inner contributions that comes by itself, because we are collaborating with the shift that comes by itself through a mutual field of consciousness created by our usage of technology. And not only when we're using the technology, because a consciousness is taught and developing through the usage of technology, and then it's always here. So it's kind of a creation of the consciousness that could have been if we haven't been disturbed for thousands of years. And as you can see, if you have no questions, I'll just talk. That's how it is. And just sense a meaningfulness by being here. Oh, Christian, can you say more about the fairness? Is this to counter the negative bias that humans are wired towards? And how does this fit into the 7D consciousness development? Yeah, I'm just allowing the channeling to step forward, because I can talk too much about it and it will be blurry. The fairness is a measure here. Fairness is something you can relate to. The shift that goes in the consciousness that carries these capacities that has been closed down in your species is opening so fast that you have no measure to it. So this is kind of a way to do it that's not complete. It's not the true measure of the shift. But the fairness is something you can relate to emotionally, historically, and mentally. So by using the fairness and the sense of fairness as a measure is kind of a trick. And the shift counters the negative bias that we humans are wired towards, shifting from destructive to constructive consciousness by choice through the 7D access. And it fits into the 7D consciousness development because the 7 to 13D consciousness counteracts the ignition of the destructive system in a consciousness. And this is so odd. This is so like science fiction like. So you can only meet it by choice and by inner experiences. Otherwise, you will see it as something differently, because you can't imagine it. You can't contain it because it haven't been here. We can only imagine and contain things that our species have experienced from within. And if nobody have ever experienced such a developed version, we are lacking so many steps that it can't be awakened by itself. The support here by the mutual field of consciousness that's igniting to the usage of technology have been recognized for 4,000 years. For 4,000 years, the development by incarnational programs throughout the universe and the support by different consciousness and whatever you will call it have worked together for the possibility to create this shift, to go from 0 to 7D, to be carried instead of from 7D to 13D. From 7D to 13D, the consciousness opens without disturbances. It's where you see everything makes sense. It's like where a clarity opens and you'll see, how can this be unseen? How can this be not seen? There's a lot of different models and ways to experience this, but I hope this is the answer to your questions. Thank you. Thank you. And next, about soul legends. I meet so many people who have a lot of trouble with the masculine and feminine balances. Couples are smuggling, myself including. Allowing again the channeling to support here. Again, knowing too much, being too involved myself. Instead of calling upon the masculine and feminine, we would like to call upon the hierarchies. And that the fighting about values between human beings is the true disturbances. So the fighting between the values of nearly everything in a human being creates the disturbancy that's released here. And the struggling, yes, thank you. And the struggling comes because we have a part of us that awakens into the decencies, and a part that's still in the dust, that kind of lives by mistrust and fighting instead of uniting. So we are struggling in a different parts of life where we value each other and ourselves. And it's often showing in partnerships and in families, but also in working environments as well. Where it hurts the most, shows the most. It's where we see it the most and where we experience it the most, but we have to know it's everywhere at the same time. Thank you for the question. Opens the answer, supports, and gives you a new way of seeing it, a new way of meeting it that supports you well. And thank you for shifting the words. Of course, it was struggling. I'm just, carrying the channeling connection, reading, sensing, delivering at the same time with another language. I'm struggling a bit here. So thank you for the support. I hope the answers make sense, and I'm so fond of your support with putting up the questions, allowing us to sense and meet how these channeled answers delivers. So thank you so much for your attention and your active intervention. And I'm not sure actually when this is shared in the groups as a live session, if I will see your questions. If I'm not, I will ensure that next time I have somebody to catch the questions and deliver them to me. And then I'll make sure that I will answer them in the live version. And this time I will look for them, and if I find some questions that I haven't answered, I will answer them in the comments as well. Thank you. The energy is supporting us now in the landing, and the landing is kind of a stabilization of our consciousness in what we have been moved with here, what we have experienced together here, or maybe not experienced. A bit of channeling would like to come through. The channeled teaching and opening with the first part of this meeting, this webinar, was what I would call semi-channeled. So I don't know what I'm saying before I'm saying it, but I can kind of following it. I'm aware as it comes. I go a little bit deeper into the channeling to see why it's calling. And this kind of channeling also goes with energy support. The burden from the past is released. To recognize it with ease shows you the new version of you and everybody's availability of being conscious and awake. The fighting about how awake you can be doesn't make sense. It is difficult and different that it's so personal the way it shifts. It's so personal how it develops that we can't kind of contribute to each other with our experiences, but we can contribute by support ourselves and each other about how we experience the bliss, the non-disturbances, the experiences of knowingness and clarity that comes by like the sun, like the good weather. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not. To share these experiences is what we can share, and to accept otherwise that it's so different to each and every one that we can't choose how everybody else should develop and should show that they are awakening. The fairness from within allow us to be so different, even though we're on the same path, the same page, that we expect everyone to be in the beginning of them being awake. Thank you. Since she let go of the channeling that would like to be delivered. And is sharing here, I'm pro A. Yes, me too. I'm so much pro prophecy A. Really. And as I've seen it, only a few people that choose to be fair to themselves and to everybody else in the consciousness and support the shift into the wholeness and the 7 to 13D accessibility creates chain reactions within the mutual field that ignites the part of everybody that's supported by 7 to 13D. So each and every day that you choose this, you are creating chain reaction in the mutual field of consciousness. That's how I sense it. That's how I see it. That's how I resonate with this. If it's not your truth, let it go. I've been showing it like when an area is so ready for rain, and the rain, the moist, is so needed. And then just a small shift, smallest particle that just shows up, ignite the release of the rain, the moist that's needed. So you could be this smallest particle that ignites the rain of the awakening in fairness by choosing it and allowing it to prove to you within yourself that it's happening. Not proving to anybody else. It have to be within themselves. So we cannot fight about how it is to be awakening. And with this, I hope it makes sense. I hope it supports you in this meeting of today. I had a wonderful experience with the energy with you. And the energy works as long as this video is available. So you can come back to it, or you can use it even though it's not live anymore. And you can look out for more in my YouTube, The Word of Consciousness, and in my Facebook page, look out for by Marianne Lane. Yeah, and I have a group then in there as well, where the different things I'm sharing, you can see them. Nearly every full moon we meet for free full moon energetic updates, energy work for Earth. Everybody can be a part of it, contribute. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again. Blessings and the best for